Hi everyone, how are you? Looks like I'm live. Okay, great. So I wanted to make this video very quickly here. I have two videos that I will be doing back to back. And this is actually the topic that I'm absolutely am working on explaining to people. And when you visit my website, it's draygenshahin.com, you will see that I'm actually teaching corporates and individuals, give lectures and provide services about data security. And as someone who is a freak about data security, this story right that happened, actually broke today, is unreal. It's surreal. It is out of this scale. The National Intelligence leak in such a massive, unprecedented way, I don't even have any words to say. Okay, and what is going on here, particularly, I don't understand why the news outlets actually not naming the name of Tulsi Gabbard. I have no idea why they keep focusing on Hexet and what have you and JD Vance, whatever, but I want to focus on Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is the National Intelligence, I don't know, director, whatever. So she leads the national intelligence. And she came on in this arrogant way that she knows everything. She's been in this committee, the National Intelligence Committee. If you know exactly what you're doing as you suggested that you do, then what the heck are you doing? Why the heck you are not stopping these people from massive intelligence leak? And not only that, and I will get in a second the story if you're not familiar, if you haven't watched the news, but the problem here is two things. One, that they are providing these informations going back and forth, and this chit chat between these high level national security people, right? Officials. They are chit chatting in a public app, which is Signal, which I'm using for years, and I was asking everyone to use it. For people that I know, for some reason people don't use it, and I don't understand, because I would never ever trust WhatsApp and what on all the other apps. But because, as you know, that's where you can see that I'm such a cybersecurity data safety freak, that I'm using Signal since 2019 for 6 years now. And what's going on right now is that even if Signal, which is created by a nonprofit from the base of having data encryption, and is by far the most secure platform that exists, and that's why I'm using it for so long. But it has to be cleared first by the intelligence committee, by the national intelligence officials, so that they can actually provide that security first, so that you can even share this information. You cannot just go ahead in this top secure national security level of intel in a public application. And we are talking about a war which is the top national intel. This is I don't even have any words to say, because the problem here is our national security is in line, as well as our national safety of the people is in line, of the people of the United States and the soldiers and what have you, and people who are supposed to protect us, okay? So that is one thing. And to have then accidentally bringing into this chat that even not supposed to be on this private app, public app to begin with, the editor-in-chief of the journal The Atlantic into the chat. And first, this Jeffrey, I don't know what his name was, Jeffrey, we will get to that. This Jeffrey person, the journalist, came into the room, into the chat room in Signal, and then he thinks that, oh my God, probably this is just a joke, you know, because even he thought that this cannot be real, this must be a joke or something. Turns out later on, hours later, when actually the bombing happened, which they were talking about in the chit chat, he realized a real thing. And only then, when he published that information with reductions, and we get to do some of the screenshots he made, then they realize, only then the top officials realize, oops, wait a second, we accidentally put someone, a journalist in the chat with absolutely zero national security clearance. And so this is unreal. This is surreal. This is massive. This must outrage everyone. And again, Chuck Schumer comes in, talks about nothing. And he even says, if that happened, I mean, Chuck Schumer has to go. Full stop, okay? He must go. He has to go. It is, he at this point, he has to shut up, okay? He has to shut up. And so, I want to read this. First of all, I want to show you these two chit chats here. I mean, guys, these are not kids. These are top level national security officials, national intelligence officials. These people have access to every possible war codes. And look at this. This is what they're doing. This is to whom we give our lives in their hands. This is how they treat our lives. This is how they do it. Every single person, every single American must be outraged of this. You got to be kidding me, right? You got to be kidding me. We are talking about a war. Not only that, it is absolutely outrageous, like massive, this type of leak. Look at this. I mean, look at this. This is not, these are millennials, okay? And you know that I have some strong opinions about generations, particularly about millennials. This is nuts. This is where we put our lives in the hands of these people who chit-chat about war like this. This is absolutely outrageous. Every single American must be outraged by this. We all need to call immediately our representatives. Like, as if this is like every second. I was literally in the middle of my work and I had to get this out because these two topics, which I have right after this, another topic, which is both are about data security, data safety. And you watch after this. I want to keep this short because I have to continue work, but you need to understand. Go to my website, go to my blog, the latest blog. You will see some educational materials there, how you can be an advocate for yourself, the step-by-step guide how you can be an advocate. Go to the last blog post, and I worked on it last night, and literally this is something that you can apply that to. This is a step-by-step. I have nice infographics included, nice infographics that can be applied to any legislation or any activistic activities or advocacy that you can do step by step. Go to my website, draygenshahin.com, into my blog post, the latest blog post. And so let's read this, okay? Let's read this thing. Let's read first this one here. I don't know who, if anyone is here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So let's read this thing. Vice President. No, Pete Hegseth says to Vice President, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic, but Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is as good a time as any, given POTUS directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space. SM. As I heard it, the president was clear. Green light. But we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. E.g., if Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? It is US successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost. There needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. Pete Hegseth, agree. Okay, then let's move to this one here. JV, excellent. JR, John Ratcliffe, a good start. This is after the bombing, okay? This is after the bombing. JV says, excellent. JR says, John Ratcliffe, a good start. Michael Walsh gives these emojis, okay? Mar, good job, Pete and your team. Michael Wall says the team in Mall did a great job as well. SM, great work all, powerful start. This is leaked information, okay? So I want to read this article And then you can read all other articles too, but look at, and then I will go to Tulsi Gabbard in particular, okay? So this is the general article. This is from, I'm reading from Associated Press. Trump officials texted war plans to a group chat in a secure app that included a journalist. Top national security officials for President Donald Trump, including his defense secretary, texted war plans for upcoming military strikes in Yemen to a group chat in a secure messaging app that included the editor-in-chief for The Atlantic, the magazine reported in a story posted online Monday. The National Security Council said the text chain appears to be authentic. Trump initially told reporters he was not aware that the highly sensitive information had been shared 2.5 hours after it was reported. He later appeared to joke about the breach. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. You just cannot make that. He later appeared to joke about the breach. And this is the President of the United States, which is the chief of the commander, right? The commander-in-chief, right? The material in the text chain contained operational details of forthcoming strikes on Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen, including information about targets, weapons the United States would be deploying, and attack sequencing, Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg reported. It was not immediately clear if the specifics of the military operation were classified, but they often are, and at the least, they are kept secure to protect service members and operational security. The U.S. has conducted airstrikes against the Houthis since the militant group began targeting commercial and military vessels in the Red Sea in November 2023. Just 2 hours after Goldberg received the details of the attack on March 15, the U.S. began launching a series of airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The National Security Council is looking into the matter. The National Security Council said in a statement that it was looking into how a journalist's number was added to the chain in the Signal group chat. In addition to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, it included Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Tulsi Gabbard. Okay? Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's Director of National Intelligence. Goldberg said he received a Signal invitation from Mike Waltz, Trump's national security advisor, who was also in the group chat. Hegseth, in the first comments on the matter, attacked Goldberg as deceitful and a discredited so-called journalist without offering further explanation. He did not shed light on why Signal was being used to discuss the sensitive operation or how Goldberg ended up on the massive chain. See? Do you see now? Do you see what I'm talking about? This is what they do. This is what they do. Attacking without answering questions. This is how they pump the MAGA base. This is how they try to get away with everything. And then Chuck Schumer comes in and say, if they did it, if they have done so, if Chuck Schumer, you need to go. You need to go. Hegseth, I read this again. Hegseth, in his first comments on the matter, attacked Goldberg as deceitful and a discredited so-called journalist. This is not something they can get away with, okay? If the Democrats are not acting like Chuck Schumer. Without offering further explanation, he did not shed light on why Signal was being used to discuss the sensitive operation or how Goldberg ended up on the massive chain. Exactly, these two. Number one, again, 2 points. One, why on earth was Signal being used in such a top secret national intel floating around information? And number two, how on earth did this journalist being added into the group? Actually, an invitation was being sent to this person. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about it. Say about that, Hegseth said in an exchange with reporters after landing in Hawaii on Monday as he makes his way to the Asia Pacific on his first overseas travel as Defense Secretary. In a statement late Monday, White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt, oh my God, don't even get me started with her. I mean, I have made videos in the Karen Reed trial about the cross, right? And they are lying on the bench like this with the gigantic cross. Like Leavitt has a gigantic cross on her chest and keeps lying in the face of everyone. This is, to me, outrageous to not synthesizing what they're holding on their chest if they're such a believer, right? And go and watch. I have even in the thumbnail, you can see that video that I discussed that. And this is exactly applied exactly to Caroline Leavitt as well. Caroline Leavitt said the president has still the utmost confidence in Walls and the national security team. Yeah, sure. Because none of these people know what they're doing. None of these people know what they're doing. And this is, again, I am outraged by Tulsi Gabbard. I am outraged about Tulsi Gabbard. None of these people know what they're doing. Not only that, but Tulsi Gabbard, we will talk about her in a second. We will talk about her. Earlier Monday, Trump told reporters, I don't know anything about it. You are telling me about it for the first time. He added that the Atlantic was not much of a magazine. Of course, they are attacking just to avoid taking responsibility, and that's what it is. By early evening, the president jokingly brushed it aside. He amplified a social media posting from Elon Musk spotlighting a conservative satirical news site article with the cutting headline, 4D chess, genius Trump leaks war plans to the Atlantic where no one will ever see them. Government officials have used Signal for organizational correspondence, but is not classified and can be hacked. Privacy and tech experts say the popular end-to-end encryption messaging and voice call app is more secure than conventional texting. So I talk a lot about this. For everyone who is close to me, I mention this app for 6 years now. I don't understand why people keep ignoring it. I really don't have much of the contacts on Signal because people for some reason just don't want to download it. I mean, for people like us, it is absolutely important to have that type of secure for the public, and that's the purpose. As a nonprofit, they made this end-to-end encryptive secure site, but this is for people like us, right? I mean, meaning for the public, but not for national security, for intel purposes. You got to be kidding me. Reaction poured in quickly. The sharing of sensitive information comes as Hegseth office has just announced a crackdown on leaks of sensitive information, including the potential use of polygraphs on the defense personnel to determine how reporters have received information. Did you know that last week there was like this everyone needs to be prosecuted, right? Prosecuted. Who leaked this? Who leaked this? You do this to yourself. By risking the lives of Americans as well as the people in the army. Sean Parnell, a spokesman for Hegseth, did not immediately respond to requests for comment on why the defense secretary posted war operational plans on an unclassified app. The administration's handling of the highly sensitive information was swiftly condemned by Democratic lawmakers. Senator Chuck Schumer, oh my God, called for full investigation. This is one of the most stunning breaches of military intelligence I have read about it in a very, very long time. Schumer, a New York Democrat, said in a floor speech Monday afternoon. If true, this is crazy. If true, look at the language. This political career style language. If true, this story represents one of the there's screenshots. There are screenshots published by this journalist. There are screenshots. What do you mean, if true? This story, if true, this story represents one of the most egregious failures of operational security and common sense I've ever seen, said Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee, in a statement. He said, American lives are online. The carelessness shown by Trump's cabinet is stunning and dangerous. I will be seeking answers from the administration immediately. That's the key word. Immediately. That's the key word. Immediately. Again, go to my website, go to the latest blog post, and I have infographics edited there. You can see step by step how you can be active effectively, immediately. Representative Jim Himes of Connecticut, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, said in a statement that he was horrified by the reports. Himes said if a lower-ranking official did what is described here, they would likely lose their clearance and be subjected to criminal investigation. And that's another keyword, criminal investigation. Do you know how this guy from 2023 who leaked Pentagon's secure information was pled guilty and was jailed for that? Do you know? He was charged. And now what are these people? He was like 19 years old, right? He screwed his life because he leaked Pentagon's information, and he pled guilty and he's charged and he's in prison. And now these people are here just doing whatever the heck they want because they sincerely believe that they're above the law. The American people deserve answers, which he said he planned to get at Wednesday's previously scheduled committee hearing. We need Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard. Where the heck is Tulsi Gabbard in this? She, and we will talk about this again, as I said, she digs into chat rooms between the intel officers, particularly targeting gay officers, And now she's involved in this. And she's okay with that? You got to be kidding, right? Some Republicans also expressed concerns. Senator Roger Viker, the Mississippi Republican who chairs the Senate Armed Services Committee, told reporters Monday, "We are very concerned about it and we will be looking into it on a bipartisan basis." So I will tell you right now in a second what the House leader says, okay? I will tell you exactly in a second. The Senate Majority Leader John Thune said he wants to learn more about what happened. Read it. You can see it because this is what it is. This is what they do. Like kids. Obviously, we got to run it to the ground. Figure out what went on there, said Thune, a South Dakota Republican. There are strict laws around handling defense information. Tulsi Gabbard is also, she's so proud that she is this, her career, she's so proud about her career in the defense, right? In the army. This is, and she was so proud of this National Intelligence Committee in the House, her career. What's this? What is this? The handling of national defense information is strictly governed by law under the century-old Espionage Act, including provisions that make it a crime to remove such information from its proper place of custody, even through an act of gross negligence. The Justice Department in 2015 and 2016 investigated whether former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton broke the law by communicating about classified information with her aides on a private email server she set up through the FBI. Ultimately, recommend against charges and none were brought. The Biden administration, some officials were given permission to download Signal on their White House issued phone. Again, guys, there's a difference. In the Biden administration, they used Signal on their White House approved telephones. And if you ever heard, maybe I should bring this up, Obama's, there was a video on Obama saying that, they give me a telephone, they said this is your telephone, and it actually has nothing into just the button, had nothing on it. And that's the White House telephones, really, right? Is different from our phones because our phones are constantly being listened to, right? So, yeah. And so their phone, so they had just in few occasions, they were allowed to download the Signal app to communicate on certain things, but not obviously intel, right? In the Biden administration, some officials were given permission to download Signal on their White House issued phones, but were instructed to use the app sparingly, according to a former national security official who served in the Democratic administration. The official, who requested anonymity to speak about methods used to share sensitive information, said Signal was most commonly used to communicate what they internally refer to as tippers, to notify someone when they were away from the office or traveling overseas that they should check their high side inbox for classified message. That's it. Just to say, check your message, check your inbox. That's why they only use it. when their travels is check your inbox. And I also, when I use with my team, I only share, like for example, we have a secure site, right? I only, when I want to share something, I say here, check that in your secure site. I would never share that information on the communication site ever. Even on the email, I would say, check that site. I posted something, or I send you information or something. I mean, that's why I teach this. That's why I also audit and teach and give services for corporations and on individual level. If you have a business or if you're your private person, I can look into what are you doing wrong, how you can improve it. Go to my website and check it out. It's right there. This includes also, that's why I talk about responsible AI or ethical AI and data security. The app was sometimes used by officials during the Biden administration to communicate about scheduling of sensitive meetings or classified phone calls when they were outside the office, the official said. The use of Signal became more prevalent during the last year of the Biden administration after federal law enforcement officials warned that China and Iran were hacking the White House, as well as officials in the first Trump administration, according to the official. The official was unaware of top Biden administration officials such as Vice President Kamala Harris, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan using Signal to discuss sensitive plans as the Trump administration officials did. Some of the toughest criticism targeted Hegseth, a former Fox News Channel weekend host. Senator Tommy Duckworth, an Iraq War veteran, said on social media that Hegseth, the most unqualified Secretary of Defense in history, is demonstrating his incompetence by literally leaking classified war plans in the group chat. This is a type of comment we supposed to and should have gotten from Tulsi Gabbard. That's it. This exact comment we should have seen coming out of the mouth of Tulsi Gabbard. She is a veteran. She's a veteran. Leak reveals internal debate on Houthi operation. Vance in the chain of the messages questioned whether Americans would understand the importance of strikes that came with the risk of a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. And if the timing of the operation might be a mistake. Guys, I just don't even know what to say anymore. I absolutely don't know what to say anymore. I mean, give me the country and I will run the country. Like, I just cannot see and watch how so incompetent people run our country. I am willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself, Vance argued. But there is a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc. Do you see? He literally says this out loud. Like, checking with the messaging first, pumping more people, pumping on social media, to give them the information why this is so needed, right? This is how they do it. This is how literally politics work. They have to pump the base first. This is everywhere worldwide. This is how war works in countries. They first pump the base, pump the people, pump the minds of, and manipulate the minds so that they can justify war. This is how this works. He literally said it out loud. What we already know, but this is how it is, coming out of the mouth of the vice president. Once also made the case that Europe would benefit much more than the US by the action aimed at decimating the Houthis and securing Red Sea shipping lanes. If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again, Vance said in a back and forth with Hegseth. I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic, Hegseth replied. He added, I think we should go. The Vice President's Communications Director, William Martin, in a statement downplayed the debate. He said Vance unequivocally supports this administration's foreign policy. You got to kidding me, right? You got to be kidding me. Also, did you see the news that Hegseth enters the army airplane with the jeans in such a casual way? This is how they give respect to the army. This is how they give respect to anything in this country. He was actually bombarded on social media on this kind of lack of respect, and just at least, you know, they said this literally to Zelensky, who is in the war and always wears like this. And now Hegseth comes in with jeans into the army's airplane, boards the army's airplane with jeans. This is exactly the respect they give to this country. And you can see this in this disgusting style of writing as top officials. So, look at this. We will get to Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my God, it's getting so long again. Oh my God, I cannot just... It's just, I'm so outraged by this, okay? So, this is so critical. Look at this. The Speaker Johnson Walz Hegseth shouldn't be disciplined over war plan signal chat. You got to be kidding me, guys. Like, seriously. This Speaker Johnson is a disgrace for this country. Is a disgrace for this country. Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican, on Monday dismissed any potential disciplinary action for National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after news broke that the pair and other Trump administration officials, name it, Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, name it. This is from The Hill. Discussed plans for an attack against Houthi rebels in Yemen on a text chain that mistakenly included the chief editor-in-chief for The Atlantic. So I want to read now about the Tulsi Gabbard, and then I want to call that quits, okay? So Dems use, let me see 1 second. Okay. By the way, this is the next video I'm going to do, so hang on tight in the next live stream, okay? So Now we talk about Tulsi Gabbard, okay? I'm going to read this right here. This is from the Daily Beast. Dems use Tulsi Gabbard's own words against her after massive war plan leak. Democrats dug up old pronouncements by the Trump administration's national security officials after top secret war plans landed in a journalist's inbox in a stunning leak. Just 10 days ago, National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard scored intelligence leaks on X. Literally, like 10 days ago. Politically, she said, quote, politically motivated leaks undermine our national security and the trust of the American people and will not be tolerated, she said. Quote, any authorized release of classified information is a violation of the law and will be treated as such. After the Atlantic director Jeffrey Goldberg revealed Monday that he was accidentally added to a group chat of top national security officials, including Gabbard, thank you, the Daily Beast, discussing strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen, Democratic Senator Tina Smith reposted Gabbard's threat with the caption, quote, circling back on this. The X account for Democrats in the House Foreign Affairs Committee also resurrected a post by National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, who inadvertently added Goldberg to the group chat. So then this means that this was not by, as in NBC, the commentator says, the high-level commentators, that this was maybe by an aide who did this. No, this was added by Michael Waltz. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz added this. So they, in the NBC, what have you, they discussed that whoever did this has to go to jail or has to be prosecuted. Who did this? It's right here. The National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who inadvertently added Goldberg to the group chat. Biden's sitting National Security, quote, Biden's sitting National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan sent top secret messages to Hillary Clinton's private account, Waltz wrote in June 2023. Quote, and what did DOJ do about it? Not a damn thing. Quote, end of quote. House Democrats reposted Waltz's remarks with emoji of a fist, the US flag, and a fire, mocking a message he sent to the group chat after the strikes were carried out. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine posted the Atlantic story with a brief comment, quote, but her emails, end of quote. Guys, this is just, okay, I'm gonna end this here. Yeah, I just want to add two more things about Tulsi Gabbard, okay? Just maybe one more thing. So if you know about the story regarding, if you heard about it a few days ago, the national security clearance of Biden and some others were canceled. I didn't know who had canceled this because the news that I read was Trump ordered to this to be canceled, and right now we are reading right here that actually Tulsi Gabbard is the one who canceled it. It says from the CBS News, Tulsi Gabbard says she canceled security clearance for top Biden aides and officials who pursued cases against Trump. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard announced Monday a security clearance review that resulted in a revocations of security clearances for dozens of current and former officials. This is from March 10, guys, not this Monday, last week, okay? Last week, literally last week today. And last week today, this happened, and this week, Monday, this happened, okay? Gabbard said in a social media post that the security clearance purge targeted top aides to former President Joe Biden, former intelligence personnel who called a 2020 effort to expose information from Hunter Biden's laptop, quote, disinformation, and some who were involved in legal cases against President Trump. Quote, I have revoked security clearances and barred access to classified information for Antony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Mark Zett, Norman Eisen, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and Andrew Weissman, along with the 25 signers, along with the 51 signers of the Hunter Biden disinformation letter, Gabbard wrote, quote, the president's daily brief is no longer being provided to former President Biden. The revocations are the latest in a campaign that began shortly after Mr. Trump's January 20 inauguration to punish and cut off access to a broad swath of people who the president alleges weaponized the nation's court system against him. This effort has included revocations of security clearance for staff at law firms that contracted with former special counsel Jack Smith and others who advocated for cases against Mr. Trump, such as attorney Andrew Weissman, who was part of the team led by Robert Mueller that investigated alleged Russian interference of the 2016 election, and Mark Zedd, an attorney who previously represented a whistleblower connected to Mr. Trump's first impeachment. Zedd directed a social media post at Gabbard after her announcement. Quote, so where are my due process protections? You are familiar with Executive Order 12,968, are you not? Still in effect. End of quote, Zedd said, referring to 1995 presidential order established a security program for federal employees who work with classified information. A spokesperson for New York Attorney General Letitia James pointed to CBS News to a statement released more than a month ago when Mr. Trump first announced his plans to claw back security clearances. Quote, what security clearance? End quote, the spokesperson asked. Quote, anyway, this is just another attempt to distract from the real work the Attorney General is doing to defend the rights of New Yorkers and all Americans. End of quote. James' office took Mr. Trump to court in 2023, securing a civil judgment that found him liable for fraud and required him to pay nearly $500 million to New York State. Mr. Trump has appealed the judgment. In the weeks since Mr. Trump's return to office, James and other Democratic state attorney generals have filed a steady stream of lawsuits challenging a litany of Mr. Trump's executive orders and policies. Okay. And this other one is from March 14. It says, Tulsi Gabbard launches investigation into leaks at spy agencies. This is from NBC News. During President Donald Trump's first term, his administration referred more media leaks for criminal investigation each year than in any of previous 15 years. Oh my God. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said Friday she has ordered an investigation into politically motivated leaks. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. From the inside the intelligence community and is also probing internal chat rooms for any misconduct by employees. Quote, politically motivated leaks undermine our national security and the trust of the American people and will not be tolerated. End of quote, Gabbard said in a statement. Quote, unfortunately, such leaks have become commonplace with no investigation or accountability. And ends now. We know of and are aggressively pursuing recent leakers from within the intelligence community and will hold them accountable. Sure, hold them vaults accountable. Okay, I want to end this here because it's getting too long. I want to end this here. Okay. All right. All right, I want to end this here. So this is what's all about. And now stay tuned, because now I will be talking about very, very, very important 23andMe, which I've been talking about for the last decade and more. Actually, in fact, since the 90s, because I'm a biologist, I have a PhD in genetics. And this, when I first saw that this company exists and how people recklessly provide their most sensitive, the most information data ever exist for a human being, their genes, into a company who is now filed for bankruptcy. What will happen with the data? Let's find out. See you in the next video. Thank you guys. Thanks for the like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you. Thanks for becoming a member, and I will see you. Don't forget to check out my website if you want to learn about data security, data safety, how you can get my services, and also check my blog post for the advocacy infographics, okay?